welcome to 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Daddy-Daughter Disney Travel Podcast. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Belobradic.
And I'm Amelia Belobradic. And today, we're going to be talking about the top hotels to stay at when you want to be in walking distance of the park.
Yes, hotels within walking distance of Disney parks. And if you've never been to Walt Disney World before and you're listening to us, maybe for the first time here in 2020, well, who knows? Let's hope it's just 2021 and nothing unusual. But if you are listening to us for the first time here in 2021, there are a certain number of hotels from which you can walk to a park. And there are so many reasons why this is a great thing. What are some of those reasons?
Well, if you're a kid, your parents are going to force you to walk and not take transportation, so that might be a turnoff.
Yeah, if you have young kids especially, being able to walk to and from the parks is just an extra bonus because actually some parks you can only, or some of these hotels you can only walk to the parks. Others have an option of walking and transportation. So we'll go through all of them, and if you are a seasoned visitor like us, let us know which are your favorites and why in our social media this week. Let's dive right in with my favorite resort area, the one and only original Magic Kingdom Resort area.
Also known as the Monorail Loop.
And on the Monorail Loop, there are, in fact, now, just over the past few months, an increasing number of hotels from which you can walk to and from the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, and this has unfortunately demoted my love of some of these hotels.
It has it?
Yes.
Well, then there's always Wilderness Lodge for you. Because Wilderness Lodge is now technically the only resort hotel in that area from which you cannot walk to the Magic Kingdom.
Great.
So let's go through. In the Magic Kingdom Resort area, we do have several hotels. Some have this as a new option, but the old standby in this area is Disney's Contemporary Resort.
Yeah.
And it is still the closest hotel within walking distance, or technically, Bay Lake Tower. It's Disney Vacation Club's sister hotel. It's technically closer by a few feet. I love this walk, personally. One of the main reasons I've always loved staying at this resort when I need to walk. Do you like walking from Bay Lake Tower?
No.
Do you like walking from anywhere?
No. You walk around for ages in the parks, going from this ride to that ride, all around the parks, and you don't want to walk there.
Would you prefer having the option of not walking?
Yes.
So, in normal times, at the end of Happily Ever After, when there are 10,000 or more people exiting the Magic Kingdom, and you're going to wait for half an hour or an hour for a boat or monorail or bus, you think, yes, I love waiting for Disney transportation.
I get to sit.
Well, I prefer the option of walking by a long shot. So on
Maybe
our
if
next
you
day,
brought
our next day in March, I'm going to leave you and we'll do a little test. Mommy and I will walk home to the hotel and we'll see when you get there.
I know it's going to take longer, but I'm also going to be less tired.
So you think walking is not even a big deal?
What do you mean?
Being able to walk to the parks.
I don't know what you mean by a big deal.
So you think having the option of having a hotel that is within walking distance to a park is not a big feature?
No, it's actually more of a turnoff for me.
Okay, so we're doing this episode because on my blog, it is one of the top searched items, hotels within walking distance. So I would counter you that people do like the option.
People like it, but for me personally...
You are not a people?
Because generally people would like this option, but however, me personally, I don't. Because I would love the option to walk for the parks, because in the cases that you just mentioned, after Happily Ever After, when it's incredibly crowded, or after Illumination or whatever fireworks show you're watching, then you'd like to walk home from the parks. However, on a perfectly normal, not crowded day, why do we need to walk?
I find it more convenient. I like the walk. I mean, especially...
I don't like the walk.
Sometimes when you go to a Disney park, you may have a snack. And if you have a snack or two or six, I think walking is a good thing to do. I think walking is a good thing to do after that snack. So having the option...
You walk all around the park.
But when you're walking and eating at the same time, it doesn't count.
You walk and eat at the same time?
Yes. I don't usually sit down with my popcorn or ice cream.
Who walks with ice cream?
We do.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
All right. So let's we're getting off track. Contemporary and Bay Lake Tower, the original walkers, the original resort hotels in that loop since 1971 from which you could walk. Well, not Bay Lake Tower, but the Contemporary. Always a great option to be able to walk to the main gate. Now, more recently, the walkway was completed and opened.
They have ruined my favorite hotel.
Which finally stops people from being tricked. And you can now walk to the Grand Floridian Resort Hotel from the Magic Kingdom. It is a longer walk, but people used to go down that walkway because I used to call it the walkway to nowhere. Because you would go to that walkway thinking it leads somewhere, thinking you could walk home to the Grand Floridian, but it didn't. It ended at that canal where the electrical water pageant parked. Anyway, now that bridge is in place, you can walk to the Grand Floridian. It is a longer walk, but it's not only the Grand Floridian. Technically now, you can walk from the Polynesian.
Who's going to do that?
A lot of people will, I bet.
We're not going to do that, though, right?
You know what? The first part of the walk, well, it's right now, if you go frequently, walking from the Magic Kingdom to the Grand Floridian is going to be sort of cool because it's new, right? It's not you usually don't see that shoreline view. And then when you get to the Grand Floridian, you will have to walk through the length of the hotel.
I'll try it once.
And then there's that really nice walkway that we do a lot between the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
And I guess if we're really stretching it, you can walk all the way to the Transportation and Ticket Center now.
Oh.
That loop is a complete half loop. So you can, and I'm talking safely walk. I mean, you can walk on roads from the other side, but there are pathways now meant for pedestrians that will go all the way from the Magic Kingdom to the Transportation and Ticket Center.
Which means theoretically, you could walk all the way from the Contemporary to the Transportation and Ticket Center.
Yeah, the Contemp, it's just roads. It's not, there's no real paths.
No, but you could go from the Contemp to Magic to Grand to Poly to TTC.
Yes, going that way you could.
But we're not going to do that though.
But in a pinch you could do it. So basically what I was saying out off the top, in the Magic
Disney.
Kingdom Resort area, the old lowly Wilderness Lodge is it's always been isolated
Maybe
from the
we should give it
monorail
another
loop.
try.
Well, you can stay there. I mean, I love the hotel. My faithful listeners know I don't like staying there for a number of reasons, but one of which is that it is a little bit isolated for transportation options, and I like if I'm going to be in that area, I like being on the monorail loop for sure.
Yeah.
And I also like the ability to walk. So now you can walk from anywhere, all three of those hotels and Transportation Ticket Center. Yes, it's a long walk in this stretch beyond the Grand, but you can do it. So that's a pretty cool option. So the Magic Kingdom Resort area now has excellent walking options. So if you are looking for a hotel and you're new, Bay Lake Tower, Contemporary Resort, the Grand Floridian Resort and Villas,
should all be taken off of your list.
and the bungalows and Polynesian Village Resort and Villas are all within walking distance to varying degrees. So the Magic Kingdom Resort area has some really good walking options now. I will say that all walking options are deluxe resorts.
Yes.
And that is one of the many benefits. There's a reason why these resorts cost more. Yes, they're nicer, the rooms are bigger, the beds are better, they're nicer hotels, but they also offer proximity to the parks in most cases.
Maybe
which
we
we'll
should
get
try
to.
staying at a moderate.
No. All right, next, let us go to the Epcot and Hollywood Studios resort area, where we have three options from which you can walk. And what
One
are
of these
those?
I did not even know was a deluxe.
Anything with villas is a deluxe.
As villas?
Yes. Now, what are the three hotels in this area?
The Beach Club, the Yacht Club, and Boardwalk.
And Boardwalk. So, in this area, there are two parks, of course, Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios. So, in this area, you can walk to both from Disney's Beach Club Resort, Disney's Yacht Club Resort, and Disney's Boardwalk Inn. Now,
CC, it's called an inn.
Now, for me, which of these three is your favorite? Well, you have not stayed at the Boardwalk.
Yeah, which is, so you really can't blame me.
No. So which is your favorite?
Beach.
You prefer the beach over the Yacht Club?
Well, because the Beach Club is like DVC resort, so it's more easy to stay there.
Yeah, that's true. It does have DVC.
I would, if I was going on a free vacation, I'd rather stay at the yacht club.
Yacht club has better club level that we've stayed.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about walking from
yacht
these
club
hotels.
allows dogs.
Yes, yeah, the yacht club does allow dogs.
We could bring a puppy.
We don't have a puppy.
But we want a puppy.
We have a kitty named Minnie.
Can we bring her?
Now, let's get back to the subject. She does not want to travel, trust me. So, technically speaking, let's start with Epcot. The Skyliner has ruined that back entrance. I don't love the Skyliner.
The back entrance was so good.
There is
quiet.
It used to be. Now it's not so much anymore because the Skyliner station's there. And there is that World Showcase entrance to Epcot. So if you are staying at the Beach Club, Yacht Club, or Boardwalk, you have great, fairly close proximity to that entrance. So you can walk into the back entrance of Epcot. It's going to bring you in right by the France Pavilion and Canada and UK, that area.
Even if you're not staying there, just go from Epcot to the Boardwalk and have a fun afternoon. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do as well. Technically, the Beach Club is closer by 100 feet. Yacht Club, right next. And then the Boardwalk, you just cross a little bridge. So great walking distance to Epcot. So if you're doing Run Disney or you want to go to the Food and Wine and be able to hobble home after a drink or two, I'm getting the look across the booth here. Those are great hotels to stay in the Epcot area. But you can also walk to Disney's Hollywood Studios from all three of these hotels.
It's a bit farther, but...
Yeah, from the Boardwalk, it's actually not that bad. It's through the back. Again, we don't stay at the Boardwalk. We prefer to, if we're going to stay in this area, we want Stormalong Bay.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to stay in that area on Crescent Lake...
I like staying in that area on Crescent Lake.
Absolutely. And I want Stormalong Bay. That's why I don't prefer the Boardwalk. They've redone the pool now and gotten rid of the scary clown that everybody... The pool slide, you haven't stayed there, but the pool slide came out through this... It was a boardwalk, so it's sort of carnival themed. Now it's Mickey and Minnie they're doing, I believe, but it used to be a clown. You'd come out of the slide. And
creepy.
There's a lot... Yeah. Are you scared of clowns?
No, but not... Maybe gigantic heads.
Yeah, it was
that children come out of.
It was a very creepy thing. So finally, they've changed that up during this COVID reno period. But anyway, the Boardwalk does have a pretty good close path to Hollywood Studios. Now, if you're going from Yacht and Beach, you can go sort of one of two ways. From Yacht, you can veer the other way towards the Swan and Dolphin, which I don't talk about because they're not Disney hotels, even though they're right in that area. But you can walk from them as well. And that goes down one side of the little canal. And then from the Beach Club, you may as well cross over to the Boardwalk side and walk down. But you know what? The Friendship boats, they're so easy to catch from those hotels. Yeah. And we never have it for some reason doesn't seem to be as bad as the Magic Kingdom area for crowds on those boats. So we tend to just take the boats to Hollywood. We never walk, whereas we tend to always walk to Epcot.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't actually mind walking to Epcot because you don't force me to do it as often. And second of all, it's a more enjoyable walk. You get the boardwalk, the lake, the view, the shops. It's not just like a path. Yeah,
that's true. The Magic Kingdom path goes by Space Mountain, but it does feel like I'm just walking.
Exactly. Thank you. Now, we can't speak for the Grand Floridian or Polynesian path yet, but
I think, we haven't walked it yet. I think it opened in November. But I think walking along the water is going to be nicer because that path is right on the lake or Seven Seas Lagoon. It's right along the water, so it's probably a nicer walk. You can alligator spot and things like that. Turtles, whatever you're going to see. Whereas, you're right, in the Yacht Club area, Beach Club area, Boardwalk area, it's a really nice walk.
Yeah.
However, now the gondola station is there.
Oh.
So there is a bit more traffic. That entrance used to be really private. And, if you stayed in those hotels, it was a real bonus.
It was like no one ever knew
there was no one ever there, yeah. That was never crowded at that entrance.
Most people probably don't even know it's there still.
At least the way the Skyliner exits, there will be lines at times, which will be congested, but they exit one car at a time. So it's not like a bus of 50 people or a boat of 100 people.
Well, at least there's some pluses.
But still, that is 3 great hotels in that area. So I would recommend personally, I like the Yacht Club over the Beach Club. However, if we are using Disney Vacation Club points, as you said, we will stay Beach Club, obviously, over Boardwalk. And in fact, the Beach Club DVC area is the closest to that gate because it's over on that end of the hotel. So if you want to stay in the very closest, fewest steps to the gate, the villas is where you're going to be.
Yes, if you're like me and like to take as few steps as possible because you're going to Epcot, which is ginormous, the Beach Club is the hotel for you.
Yes, and in all these cases, if it's one of your first times and you want to stay in a deluxe resort, which I always recommend if you can swing it, walking with kids in strollers is a huge option, and it's the same at all of these things. Now, the only option from Yacht and Beach is the boat. You can technically take a friendship to that gate, but it's so close that...
To Epcot?
To
Who
Epcot.
would do that?
Yeah, I guess you would only do that if you're on crutches or you're injured or something,
But it would
right?
take long. Like, it would take longer.
Well, that's going to be my point. It's
if
definitely going to take
able
longer.
To walk, just walk.
And generally, whereas the Magic Kingdom, everyone exits through one gate, and there tends to be the shows at the end of the night like that, and everyone's exiting. It's more crowded, so I think walking is a bigger option there, for me personally, than even though there's boat, bus, and monorail.
I say walk home to burn off the calories. There is no need to walk there. None. Zippo. Zilch.
Well, what are you going to do from the Contemporary? Are you going to wait for the monorail and go all the way around and stop at the Transportation Ticket Center, Polynesian, Grand Floridian, pick up a whole bunch of guests and be in a crowd? Or walk right by yourselves, no crowd, all the way in?
I still say if you're going from the Grand Floridian, take the monorail there.
Okay, I would agree with that. If I'm at okay, that's a good point. Now we're switching back to MK, Magic Kingdom area. But yes, to the hotel from the Grand Floridian, I would think, the monorail
Will be faster.
It will be faster. For sure it will be faster. In all these cases, walking is just a good option to have.
It's a good option to have. Just because you have the option does not mean you need to use it
and
frequently.
It especially applies in that area to Wilderness Lodge in the Magic Kingdom area, even though we're bouncing around here. Over at Epcot Hollywood Studios, where we were a moment ago, all three of those hotels offer options to walk. And it's in most cases, it's probably, I'm guessing, the most used option, certainly to Epcot.
Yeah.
And Epcot has two, this is what I was going to say before I got sidetracked. Oh, it's so easy to do when you're talking about Disney things. Epcot has two entrances. So the crowds sort of split up, whereas Magic Kingdom only has one. And everybody funnels through that one, and they funnel down Main Street. So it literally is like a funnel. You get squished down into this.
It's a funnel.
A funnel where it goes from wide to small.
So
Magic Kingdom truly funnels all the guests down Main Street. Whereas Epcot, it's totally different. It's much more wide open. There are two entrances and exits. So you don't run into the same sort of crowds at the end of the night. So I was going to say the walking is not as big of an attraction to me. However, ironically, you actually use it more because it's the best way in those parks to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, who's gonna go and wait for the boat when you can just walk there? And, I mean,
unless you're not
10 minutes maybe max.
Unless you're not able to walk, then
that's what I said. If you're injured or someone in your party has trouble walking or whatever the case may be. Now, if they're on a scooter, they're gonna zip by you and be at that entrance before you. But if you're on crutches or something like that, or you just have a bad knee or whatever the case is, you may want to take the boat. So it is an option, but walking is great if you're there.
I will give you that one. Walking is a good option at those hotels.
And then that's 3 of the 4 parks. Now we're going to hop over to the 4th park, Animal Kingdom.
Oh, well.
Where there is one hotel, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. But my friends...
But you can't include it in this episode.
I was going to say, if you are new to Walt Disney World, do not be fooled by the fact that the park and the hotel have the same name.
No, it's just...
So, I joke about Wilderness Lodge being isolated, but Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge is truly isolated, and it's one of the reasons I don't love it personally. Great hotel, love the hotel, don't like to stay there. You cannot walk anywhere from that hotel.
Do you like the hotel?
I do like the hotel in terms of its design and its feel and its
in terms of its
artwork.
Relationship with palmetto bugs.
Well, I don't like the cockroaches that we talked about in a past episode, but that hotel... In this walking
it's a nice
episode,
hotel.
It's a nice hotel, but you can walk nowhere. You are 100%. I know. That's why
It's frustrating. It's confusing to people.
We're putting this alert out for newbies who may be planning their first Walt Disney World vacation and listening to this episode. You will be on Disney buses or I highly recommend a vehicle. People will argue with me about it. I don't care. If you have a car there, you will be far better off than relying on Disney buses, in my opinion. Or take Ubers or Lyft.
Unless you have good luck with buses, and please, I would love to meet you.
Yeah, you may, but
we don't.
We're not fans of Disney buses, and we try to avoid them as much as possible. And we take Uber and Lyft a lot in situations like that. Sometimes we'll have a car there if we rent a car, but it is isolated. Just know that even though it has the same name, it is not located near enough to the park to walk. So Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, you are definitely on Disney transportation.
Yes, which is such a great thing to be stuck on.
And I feel there's one more area to talk about.
Yeah.
In terms of being able
this.
to walk. All right, go ahead.
Saratoga Springs Resort.
And where can you walk from Disney Saratoga Springs Resort?
Disney Springs.
And Spa. Yes, Disney Springs.
Not technically a park, but I mean, come on. It's still a great fact to know that you can walk from Saratoga to Disney Springs.
Yes, Disney Saratoga Springs Resort. We talk about it as a hidden gem and all that. It is a Disney.
It truly is.
It truly is. It's a Disney Vacation Club property, but you can stay at any Disney Vacation Club villa. And these are villas, so you can have kitchens and laundry access and all sorts of things that you don't get in regular hotel rooms.
And you can literally just walk to the springs and grab a drink at Raglan Road or get a sandwich at Earl of Sandwich or whatever you want.
Shopping, dining, entertainment, eating, bowling, whatever you want to do, it's there. Nightlife. And if we're talking about
we're just saying must do Disney, but you get the idea.
That's right. We're channeling our inner Stacy. But you can walk there, and it's worth noting that it is isolated from parks, but it is not isolated from Disney entertainment and dining and shopping.
But I'd say it's almost better to be able to walk there than to be able to walk to the Magic Kingdom. Because the Magic Kingdom, it's got buses, it's got boats, it's got monorail, it's got walking. But like Saratoga, you can just easily walk to Disney Springs, which what else? You can take a bus?
Yeah, you can. And
buses to Disney Springs are hard to come by.
That's true. Disney Springs is not it's just a hard place to get to. So if you really love springs, consider Saratoga. And the tip is Disney Saratoga Springs is large, as we've mentioned before, 65 acres. There are many different neighborhoods, but Congress Park is where you want to be.
Yeah, that's where we always try to stay.
Yeah, it's right across the water. You look at Disney Springs, and it's the closest one to the bridge pathway to Disney Springs.
Also, if you don't want to walk, it's close enough to take a boat. You're not stuck taking the buses. That is another plus.
Yes, you can take a boat. But much like Animal Kingdom Lodge, for everywhere else, you are on Disney buses. And for some odd reason, buses are good from there, right? When we stay at Saratoga, which we love that resort. Yeah. And sometimes we just want to stay away from it all, so to speak, from the parks, because we like Saratoga. It's a nice, quiet resort and 5 pools. But the buses there, we don't seem to have problems. Like there's really good.
True.
Yeah, isn't that true? So that's a bonus. Even though a car is valuable there as well, but the buses from Disney Saratoga Springs Resort, for some reason, I don't know why, we have
weird.
Better bus service when we stayed there than anywhere else, any of the other deluxe resorts. I can't even count the times where, for example, the Polynesian, waiting for a bus, and I get so frustrated and go, forget it, pull out my phone, call a Lyft.
Move.
Yeah.
They go, okay, 7:25. 7:26.
Yeah, those
7:29.
the bus. Amelia's talking about there are now those little signs when you're waiting for a bus that tells you how long till the next bus.
Tell me a time if you're just going to move it back.
But buses get caught in traffic or break down or whatever the rule is with Disney buses. So.
And then there'll be like 5 of the same park.
So the times keep changing, and don't believe the time you first see necessarily. So, however, I don't know, for whatever reason at Saratoga, maybe the traffic in and out of there is not as bad. I don't know. Which is weird because it's right next to Disney Springs. We have great luck with buses there. So just bear that in mind if you want to stay there. You'd think you'd need a car there, and a car is handy there.
Car's handy everywhere,
but the bus service there, for some reason, is pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Out of all of these hotels we've talked about, give me your favorite in each area.
Ooh.
If you're walking, and even though we haven't walked the new paths, just the route. So if you're in the Magic Kingdom Resort area and you want walking as an option, what would you recommend?
I want walking as an option. Probably Contemp, because Grand Floridian, even though I like it better than Contemporary, it's a longer walk.
It is a longer walk, so that's fair. Contemporary or Bay Lake Tower if you want a villa. Although those villas are a little bit smaller than other ones. We really love the Contemporary over there. even though we're Disney Vacation Club members, we've stayed in both regularly. If you could choose Bay Lake or Contemporary, where would you stay?
Oh, Contempt.
You like Contempt better than Bay Lake?
Yeah. I mean, I love Bay Lake, but I like Contempt. It's a real hotel.
Technically, Bay Lake is a closer walk because it's out the front door.
By 5 feet.
Yeah. Well, it depends where in the Contemporary you're staying.
That's
If you're
true.
at the far end's a little bit farther, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. I would still go Grand Floridian. Because I
prefer
love
to
the
stay
hotel.
at the Grand Floridian.
But I don't mind
for
walking, right?
But for walking.
I like the walks. I don't mind walking, so
Yes.
it's not a barrier to me. Okay. Hollywood Studios, Epcot area.
Yacht, because
Yacht or beach?
Yacht.
Oh, you just told me you like the beach club better.
I like the beach club better, but for walking, I think I prefer yacht club because the beach club is a bit too, I don't know, crowded in the walking area. I don't know. It's weird, but I prefer the yacht club for walking.
the yacht club is further technically from Epcot,
Yeah,
but the
close.
way you come out in the pathway,
Yeah.
the hotel's it's not as busy.
Yeah.
It's never as busy in the
Exactly.
actual hallways and things. And
you
yacht,
still get Stormalong.
yes, you still get Stormalong. And yacht, you can slip out that back path
That's why I picked it.
to Hollywood. So
Yeah.
it is better positioned for both. A
'Cause
little
it's in,
bit
like, the
further
middle.
to Epcot. Yeah, a little bit further,
a little
but
bit closer to Hollywood.
still a great option.
And, well, there's no hotels for Animal Kingdom,
Yeah,
but
there's
I
no
definitely
hotels.
do recommend Saratoga, even if Old Key West was within walking distance.
Yeah, definitely. So don't be fooled sometimes by, I don't know how much this happens now, but there was a time in the past when people were doing their research and a lot of these off-site hotels would say, less than a mile from Disney World. And newbies will think that means less than a mile from the Magic Kingdom, but it's not. It means less than a mile from the perimeter gate of Walt Disney World's 43 square miles.
Yes.
And it in the past, I know of families, it has tricky. It is
Good
not
marketing
because they think,
hotels,
we
though.
can walk a mile, but it's more like 10 miles.
Oh,
and,
they walk.
and it's highways, so you
Oh,
can't.
the poor people.
Well, you can't. They think they can, but they can't.
The
So
poor people.
these are all on-site resort deluxe hotels within true walking distance to
Yes.
the parks. Nice. As much as Amelia doesn't like it, these are not long walks.
No, they're not.
They're not long walks.
As much as I complain, they're actually quite short.
Transportation does go down, don't forget. The monorail breaks, and if it's lightning or the boats won't run, and then the buses get really crowded.
Yeah,
so,
if it's bad weather, I say just walk.
yeah, so it is a good option to have walking.
Or after shows, I'd say
So it's just another reason why I love deluxe resort hotels.
it's a good option to have. I will give you that.
So there you go. There are the many hotels that you can take to truly walk to the parks and entertainment areas at Walt Disney World Resort. So bear those in mind. Let us know this week as we tweet out on social media at 1923 Main Street, what is your favorite hotel for walking to a Disney park? Any park you want. I'd love to hear. Maybe I'll do a little poll
Yacht.
as well. Amelia's going to vote yacht. Let us know what you think or your tips for staying in these hotels and walking to and from parks. All right, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you again next week. We hope you have a great week. Be sure to check us out on social and our little shop at 1923mainstreet.redbubble.com. Yeah, we have some cool Disney designs, and that helps to support the show. So thanks again for listening, and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.